So I was watching Asmongold's reaction video the other day about Trump's speech at the World Economics Forum, and I really wanted to talk about this, so let's take a look.
The United States cares greatly about the people of Europe. We really do.
Oh, we love Europe.
I am derived from Europe, Scotland and Germany.
Same. Plus Ireland.
100% Scotland, my mother, 100% German, my father. And we believe deeply in the bonds we share with Europe as a civilization. I want to see it do great. That's why issues like energy, trade, immigration, and economic growth must be central concerns to anyone who wants to.
I mean, this is true. Like, Europe is our cultural ally. Europe and Canada are our closest cultural allies. A lot of them speak English. We have a lot of the same shared heritage. Really, I mean, these are three. That's the case, right? I mean, a lot, like, I'm German, I'm like mostly German, but like also Irish and Scottish too. And so not anymore. No, I think it's definitive. It absolutely is true. And a lot of people's ancestry, like at least all the white people here in America, I'd say probably 95% of the white people in America are actually European. Right? Like, I mean, how did they get here? Did they spawn here?
It's true, like definitely a lot of people in America, especially white people, are in fact descendants of Europeans. That's actually an interesting topic. I think that's why so many people have an issue with the immigration situation right now in America, because you're a nation of immigrants. What the fuck are you doing? I mean, I get it, like you want to protect your own country, so you want to get rid of the bad actors. You want to get rid of the criminals, you want to get of the illegals, and I mean, I also agree with what Asmongold usually says in his videos. They are essentially criminals. They are in the country illegally. They don't belong there. Do you necessarily need to hunt them down and kick them out? Debatable. I mean, I guess if it's really just hunting down the actual criminals, like the sexual predators and child rapists and whatnot, then yeah, by all means do that, please. But if you're hunting down innocent people and tearing families apart and like kicking people out that have basically lived their entire lives there, they were just not lucky enough to actually get into the country legally for whatever reason, there is some level of due diligence that you have to do here, that you need to give them a fair process. I think US probably needs way more regulation. I mean, I live in Switzerland, and we are fairly strict here, especially in comparison to the rest of Europe, to be honest, that we do have basically an upper limit per year of how many people can come into this country. And I think it's also very difficult in this country to come in illegally. It's not impossible. We do have people that are here illegally, but it's much more difficult to get by. Everything is very regulated here. Everything needs proof of some sort. Everything is checked thoroughly, except fire safety regulations, obviously. But I think that might be something that the US needs as well, just like better laws in terms of immigration, limits, upper limits of how many people can actually come in.
See a strong and united West, because Europe and those countries have to do their thing. They have to get out of the culture that they've created over the last 10 years. It's horrible what they're doing to themselves. They're destroying themselves. It's beautiful, beautiful places. We want strong allies, not seriously weakened ones. We want Europe to be strong.
I don't understand how Europe has been totally like ideologically captured. Because it feels like any time that I see anything from Europe and any of the, like people protesting or anything like that, there's so many people that are in Europe that see how just chaotic it is bringing in all these the illegal aliens, right? Women in power. Is it really that simple? Is it just women?
Yeah, it's definitely not as easy as saying that it's just because of women, because we're in power, because we're emotional beings. It's not just that. I mean, I think there is some truth to that, absolutely. But I think in order to really understand the issue, you have to understand the EU and how it's actually built up. It is built on those four pillars of free movement of goods, services, capital, and people. And that last one is the main point, right? That's kind of the major issue because the countries can't really decide by themselves how many people they want to really take in or they can really take in. They just kind of have like this amount of people that they have to take. But that's, in my opinion, one of the main issues. Not even just like immigrants from like Africa, like Somalia or Syria. We have a lot of these, or Eritrea, I think, as well. We have a lot of these immigrants, but also within Europe, it's messy. You essentially have open borders to anyone who is within the EU, anyone who is part of the EU. So if you have one country in the Union that is thriving, everybody will want to go there. Everybody will move there because they will get more salary. It's cheaper to live there. It's more affordable, whatever it is, whatever reason people have to actually move there, they will because they can, obviously. I mean, if you don't have any regulation in that sense, then you constantly have this like back and forth. Like, I'm actually glad to live in Switzerland because we're not part of the EU. Like, we can make our own rules about immigration, about how many asylums we want to take in, how many people from Europe we want to take in. And you know, we're a tiny country, space is limited.
Home ownership has always been a symbol of health and vigor of American society, but that goal fell out of reach for millions and millions of people in the Biden era because interest rates went up so high. Today, I'm taking action to bring back this bedrock of the American dream. In recent years, Wall Street giants and institutional investment firms, many of you are here, many of you are good friends of mine, many of you are supporters. Sorry to do this, Joe, I'm so sorry. But you've driven up housing prices by purchasing hundreds of thousands of single-family homes.
We need to these big companies and these people that buy up all of these houses and then they treat them like investment properties. There's a reason why we have commercial and residential zoning.
That's why I have signed an executive order banning large institutional investors from buying single-family homes. It's just not fair to the public.
This is obviously good. There's no reason why this shouldn't have happened.
Yeah, again, I agree. Like, if Trump actually does this, this is great because you do need to regulate that stuff. Like, how is it that companies can buy residential areas if you want to be a nation of homeowners? Then you need more regulations in place. If you want to be a nation of renters, like we are, for example, you need to have those regulations in place. We have regulations for both. We have a lot of regulations in place to actually protect people that are renting, to protect people that are owning a house. So if you don't have these in place, then obviously you're gonna have problems like these big companies buying up places and then like just making money through this and enriching themselves on those that already struggle.
One of the biggest barriers to saving for a down payment has been surging credit card debt. The profit margin for credit card companies now exceeds 50%.
I thought it was 40%.
One of the
a 50% margin? What the fuck?
biggest. And they charge Americans interest rates of 28%, 30%, 31%, 32%. Whatever happened to usury? I'm asking Congress to cap credit card interest rates at 10% for 1 year.
Holy shit.
I mean, listen. Why is... I don't know, this actually makes me angry because how the fuck do you not have any regulations on that? Again, like where you have... I feel like there's so many laws that allow freedom of speech and whatnot and the right to carry a gun, but you don't have regulations in place to keep your citizens, your people, the people living in your country from going into debt. I mean, great. Okay, again, great. If he actually does this, fucking fantastic for the people living there. Not great for the companies there, but great for the people and very important as well. How is that not already a thing? Like here in Switzerland, it is again highly regulated because you don't want people going into debt like crazy. Here you have a cap. You have very tight regulations on who gets a credit and how much of a credit, and you have a whole bunch of requirements on how much you need to earn, and you need to have like a stable job and whatnot. Like, it's honestly pretty difficult to get a credit here. Credit card, not so much, but it is limited. How is that not already a thing there?
Yeah, economically stupid idea. Well, okay, so you care about the economic. I don't care about that. I don't. If these credit card companies, if their business model is built around usury, then maybe they don't have a good business model.
Economically bad, economically bad idea. I don't think so, honestly. I really disagree. I mean, yes, of course, for the companies it's not great. For the people behind these companies it's not great because now they cannot make these margins that they used to. But it doesn't mean that they're not gonna make any margins, that they're not gonna make any money with this. It just puts a roof to this, and this is how much they're gonna be able to earn. It's actually potentially much better for the economy because you're gonna have potentially more people that can afford things in the long term. You're gonna have people that are gonna be able to save up, they're gonna be able to invest, they're gonna be able to buy bigger, more expensive things further down the line because they actually have the money and they're able to actually pay it back, like that's another part that I think a lot of people are forgetting, that if you do get into this cycle of debts and interest rates that you cannot pay back, that money is essentially lost. Like on paper, for the moment, it looks good for the company, but in the long run, you're gonna have a lot of people that are gonna leeching off of the government because they cannot pay their bills anymore. All right, I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. See ya!